So originally I thought, since I was going to be dealing with seniors, that I had to be very authoritative, and it was going to be this way, it was going to be my way, and if you disagreed, there was going to be some repercussions. But I quickly realized that this was not going to work in the setup I was in. I came in way too late with these kids to have this sort of presence. This present that I initially wanted to have would have been perfect if I rolled in with them in August, but because I came in at probably one of the worst times for seniors, the last 6 weeks, where regardless of what they get, they're still going to graduate, this way of teaching was just not going to work. So I think that was a main reason for why I was so frustrated last week, because I wanted to get this done, and this done, and they just wouldn't do what I was asking them. Even that quiz I gave them, their pop quiz, still really didn't get them to change. They still didn't see what I was giving them as a lighter load as opposed to what they could have had. I had a whole plan of what could be done, and after being with them for a week, I realized that wasn't going to happen. So there was one compromise. I had to kind of go back and rearrange what I had initially thought was going to get done to fit so that something got done. So I had to make a compromise with myself at first. I had to compromise with what I had in place to what needed to be done. And that kind of happened over the weekend. I didn't really plan for this past week until Saturday and early Sunday, because I was kind of really frustrated on Friday and Saturday and was kind of dreading how I was going to set up the week to make it work. So I realized that the most important thing I needed to do is I had to kind of give a little to get a little in return. So these high expectations and the high goals that I had, I kind of had to step back a little and realize, okay, well, if I let them do this, they'll give me some work. So Monday, my toughest class was in the computer lab, which was actually really good because then it made me a day behind with them. So normally when things went wrong with them, it was bad because that's kind of my worst class. Then third period went well, fourth period, everything went really good this week. We did a little lecture. We had some movie clips that really accented what was going on, and I think they realized within this week that I wasn't out to get them. I think they realized if we stopped disrespecting Miss Callan, I think when I got in there they thought, hey, we're going to push her to the limit so she cracks and she finally gives in and gives us nothing. I think after Friday with the whole paper turning into a brochure, I think they realized that she is trying to help us out. When there were some complaints about the classified ad that they were assigned on Tuesday that was due this Friday, I simply explained to them if they wanted to keep complaining that it could just be a big legislative branch unit test, and I don't believe in multiple choice, so it would have been short answers and an essay. And as soon as they heard that, they kind of was like, alright. They also saw that I tried to make it, they still had to take notes, but I was still keeping my promise that it was going to be slot notes. I wasn't asking them stuff in great detail. I was just asking for their effort and intention. So here was another compromise, and this is where the great compromise of Bro 9. All throughout the school there are signs that say, congrats class of Bro 9. I'm not sure if that's because the Bruins are brew. I don't know if it's that whole bromance thing that that's how they got Bro 9. So here was the compromise. Both of us realized that in order for anything to work in this classroom that we had to respect each other. I was going to kind of taper it down a little in order to get them to do stuff, and they were going to kind of stop giving it to me, per se, giving me lip, giving me attitude, just giving me nothing. They were going to start to participate and make sure that they were, doing what I asked them so that I would continue helping them out with assignments. And I think the image is kind of ironic with the whole, we're going to respect, but even though you're 100% wrong. I'm saying that from my point of view. They are 100% wrong. They are totally in for work and shock when they get to college, but I'll let them think that I'll let them be in denial about what's to come. At least we're finally on the same page. So based on the fact that, for the most part, by the middle of the week, everyone was on track. We watched a movie of a representative from Florida about her congressional staff. I had one of my students call, actually, the staff within the class, which I thought was kind of a bad classroom management thing, but phones, especially within a senior class, and the NCAA bracket coming into play. They are just impossible to keep track of, and after talking about it with my professor this week, it actually showed that he paid attention, so we did have a lot of fun. I'm starting to realize which kids I can kind of not pick on, but go to, and the whole class will laugh if there's a funny joke. One of my students this weekend past weekend put a dress on ran into Miss Stevens, took a picture, and that was included in the lecture on Monday, and that kind of got and built up the relationship with that class. I'm still kind of struggling with one of my classes. The compromise really hasn't been finalized in that one, but I'm starting to see a breakthrough after today. I promised them if after Tuesday they were exposed to all images of the 11 representatives, and of course they didn't care where the districts were. They were just more concerned with the face, like what they look like. So one kid was like, wouldn't it be cool if we just went through a bunch of senators and representatives to see what they look like? Granted, they were going to do this to make fun of them, but the fact that they had brought something up, I took a lot of time last night to create a bingo game. I had 25 representatives, which it was a picture, a thought bubble, and it was a little clue in the thought bubble to guess the state. And on the bingo board there was 25 states. So I made 9 different cards, and I made 50 slides, and we'd go through the slides and say the caption. Most of them obviously had something to do with the state. Some of them even had a personal connection with one of the students. One of my students was from Texas, so clue was George W. So-and-so and I are from the state. So they kind of realized that I do listen to what they have to say. And they really enjoyed playing it. You should have saw how excited they got. And they thanked me repeatedly for going out of my way to doing something like this. And I assured them that, if they can give me what they want, that I want Monday through Thursday, Friday, which has traditionally been an easy laid-back day for them, can continue. And they all agreed and thought that was a great idea. And for my 6th period class, all they do is the brackets. So I kind of made a head-to-head basketball game where I took representatives and senators from the actual real bracket and made an imaginary basketball game. Some of them, which I thought it would be funny, would have really enjoyed it, but they were really more too concerned with the real bracket. So, although I wanted that to be a great success, it really wasn't. So overall, I realized I'm in a great place where I'm at. I know I got them under control. The next week is my last couple lecture days before spring break, and then they're going to do a really big technology project. I had them in the lab on Thursday, and technology monitoring wasn't as bad. I think they started to realize that I'm putting them in there for a reason, and I will take it away as soon as they really abuse it. So